Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, whose fight to destroy the one power on Earth that can destroy him is now taking a new turn. And now, the adventures of Superman. In danger of his life, Superman is searching desperately for the Scarlet Widow, who almost destroyed him with a piece of kryptonite. The kryptonite is a fragment of the planet Krypton where Superman was born, and robs him of his strength when he comes within 10 feet of it. But unknown to Superman, part of the kryptonite was stolen from the Widow by Der Teufel, Germany's most brilliant scientist. Unable to dissolve the strange green glowing metal in order to form a powerful atomic substance, Teufel told a Nazi underground agent named Kraus that he must take the kryptonite to Germany, where he knew of a chemist who could dissolve it and create an atom man, a creature who could control Superman at will. Meanwhile, in the back room of a small book and gift shop in a fashionable district of Metropolis, the gaunt, ugly Scarlet Widow angrily hurls a stack of telegrams at the feet of Sniggers, her little henchman. Listen.
My agent can't find Teufel in Detroit. They can't find him in Los Angeles. They can't find him in Cuba or Mexico or Canada. Where is he?
He's a sly one, right enough, Teufel is. But if you listen to me, Widow, you'll forget about him.
Forget about him? Are you crazy, Sniggers? He got away with a quarter of the kryptonite. Worth $1 million.
I'm sure he did, and I'd like to slit his dirty throat for it. But we still got 3 pieces of the blooming stuff left. And that's why I think you're making a bad mistake, Widow. Suppose the Vulture and them other 2 blokes finds out we dumped Superman in the ocean, and he's dead. They won't pay us nothing for the kryptonite, then.
How can they find out? Only you and I know who was in that cedar chest.
Yeah, they're smart, they are.
Then let them find Teufel. They know I won't sell them any part of the kryptonite until I see that double-crossing Nazi dead at my feet. Right now he's alive someplace, somewhere. Why don't the police find him?
I don't know. The police is hunting for us, too. Don't forget that. And every day that blinking Daily Planet newspaper puts descriptions of us in their first page, telling anyone what sees us to call the bobbies.
Don't worry, we're safe here.
I don't like it. Not a bit I don't. Look at Widow. Let's sell what we've left of the blooming kryptonite and hop it out of here.
No, I said. Not until I see Teufel dead. Now, get off that chair. I want to use the typewriter.
What you going to do?
I'm going to send a special delivery letter to every one of my agents all over the world, telling them I'm raising my price to $200,000 for Teufel.
Ooh, that's a lot of folding money, that is.
He's got to be found. He didn't evaporate into thin air. He's someplace, somewhere, and I'm going to find him and see him dead if it's the last thing I ever do.
As the Scarlet Widow's long, bony fingers tap out an urgent command to her underworld agents to find the man who robbed and double-crossed her, Der Teufel himself, carefully disguised in a wig of thinning gray hair and a short, stubby beard, his fleshy face cleverly molded to new lines and contours, and wearing a black Homburg hat and mink-lined overcoat, has just stepped from a clipper plane at Lisbon. Holding a bulky briefcase close to his side, he extends a passport to a customs officer who examines it perfunctorily as a large transport warms its powerful motors nearby.
You are Dr. Alexander Orlovsky, senor?
Yes.
You travel from here to Madrid?
I do. On my way to my own country, Belgravia, where I'm finance minister.
Si. Here is your visa, senor. Your plane leaves in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Hurrying to the transport plane, his briefcase clutched tightly under his arm, Der Teufel is flown high over the Pyrenees and set down at bustling Le Bourget airport of Paris. Once more, his bulky briefcase held tightly under his arm, he presents his passport to a customs inspector.
Oui, Monsieur Orlovsky. The newspaper reporters, they hear you arrived today and they ask for you.
If you could perhaps not tell the reporters I'm arrived. My plane to Berlin leaves very soon, and I wish to rest before continuing my journey.
Oui, Monsieur Orlovsky, I will say nothing to them. Voilà, your visa, monsieur. Bon voyage.
Donc, merci, monsieur. Merci.
Still undetected in his disguise of Dr. Orlovsky, finance minister of Belgravia, the Teufel, carrying a small piece of the deadly kryptonite, which he believes can be used to create an atomic creature able to forever control the strength and power of Superman, waits in Paris for a plane to carry him to Germany and his mysterious destination. Meanwhile, haggard from his unrelenting but futile search for the Scarlet Widow and the kryptonite, Superman, in his guise of Clark Kent, is in the teletype room at Metropolis Police Headquarters with Inspector Henderson.
Here's the flash from Washington. No soap, Kent. The fellow they picked up as Papa Rouse turned out to be a respectable high school teacher. A refugee.
Well, if you'd only listen to me, Inspector, and concentrate on the search for the Scarlet Widow and Sniggers, I think you'd get further. They have the kryptonite.
Oh, you and your kryptonite. I thought you had better sense, Kent.
Why?
Believing that a piece of fallen meteor can harm Superman.
Well, it can do more than that, Inspector. Ultimately, it can destroy him.
What? Look, I always had a lot of respect for you, Kent, but after a crack like that,
You think I'm crazy, huh? Well, listen, I can tell...
call for you, Inspector.
Oh, thank you, Miss Hardy. I'll be right along.
I had the call transferred to the teletype room. You can take it on the phone right here.
Okay. Excuse me, Kent.
Certainly.
Inspector Henderson speaking. Oh, yes, Haley. What? Say that again. What? A fire with green flames?
Green flames?
What have you been drinking?
Inspector, what did
Now,
he say
just
about...
a minute, Kent, will you please? What'd you just say, Haley? I didn't get it. A murder? Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? Sure, I'll be right out. Where is it? Huh? 226? Yeah, okay. All right, I'll see you right away. Well, how do you like that, Kent?
What?
Haley gives me some cock and bull story about a fire in a basement, a fire that burns with green flames, he says, before he breaks down and tells me there's a murdered man in the basement. Come on, we'll have a look.
Fire that burns with green flames, huh? It's very interesting, Inspector, very interesting. I wonder if it could possibly be...
Eagerly, Clark Kent hurries from police headquarters with Inspector Henderson. Who is the murdered man at the scene of the strange fire of green flames? We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode. But right now, here's a word from your announcer.
Say, your eyes will pop, gang, when you get your first comic button from this brand new series in packages of Kellogg's Pep. These new buttons are really snappy. Bright, full-colored pictures of familiar comic strip characters, like Uncle Walt and Skeezix and Nina and Superman, of course. Each one printed in bright colors on a sturdy metal button you'll want to wear pinned on your jacket or dress or cap. Now, there are 18 different buttons in all, so get busy. Collect the whole series. Start out by asking Mom to get you a package or two of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. That's the only way you can get these new comic buttons, you know. You don't send in any money, not even a box top. You just look inside the Pep package for your prize. One of these brand new exciting comic buttons or a military insignia or warplane button. There's a button in every package of P-E-P, Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman. Clark Kent and Inspector Henderson have just arrived at the scene of a recent fire, the basement of a dingy tenement house. The basement, equipped as a cluttered, dirty little laboratory, has been half burned out, and the charred walls are a strange green. Leaving Officer Haley outside to keep back the curious crowd, Kent, Henderson, and a police surgeon are examining two men who lie on the basement floor. One, a short, foreign-looking old man with thinning gray hair and a stubby beard, lies on his side, dead, the blade of a knife in his back. He is clad only in his underwear. The other man, tall and lean, sallow-faced, breathes faintly.
This tall young fella, how bad is he, Doc?
Beyond help, Inspector. 3rd-degree burns. He won't last more than a few minutes.
His driving license says Fred Kraus. This address. No other identification. There might be some prints on the knife. I wonder who the old fellow is and where his clothes are. He looks kind of familiar.
I know who he is, Inspector.
You do? Who is he, Kent?
Dr. Alexander Orlovsky, finance minister of Belgravia.
Oh?
He came to the United States a few weeks ago to try to float a government loan.
Are you sure?
Positive. I interviewed him.
What's the finance minister of Belgravia doing here in this dump?
And with a knife in his back. There's a nice kettle of fish.
Yeah. Oh,
What's the matter, Kent?
what? I don't know. I suddenly felt weak and dizzy. What? Great Scott.
Huh? What's the matter now?
That test tube I just dropped. I was examining it. Inspector, there was kryptonite in that test tube a short time ago.
Kryptonite?
Yes. That accounts for the green flames. The Scarlet Widow must have been here. And maybe the Vulture, the Teufel, and that gang, too. They killed Dr. Orlovsky for some reason. Something to do with me.
With you?
Huh? Oh, I mean with Superman.
Oh.
This man, Fred Krause. He must know where they went and what they're up to. Doctor, you've got to bring him, too. He's got to tell us.
Well, what do you say, Doc? Any chance?
I don't know, Inspector. He's in pretty bad shape, but I'll try. I'll need some hot water.
Well, wait, there's a sink over there, Kent. Maybe,
I'll see. Yes, it's hot. I'll get a pan. You've got to bring him too, Doctor. You've got to. He can tell us where the widow is and the kryptonite. He must be made to talk.
Quickly and skillfully, the police surgeon works to revive Fred Krause, the Nazi underground leader. Will he succeed? And will Krause tell Superman where the Teufel is? And of Teufel's monstrous plan to create an atomic monster capable of destroying not only Superman, but all of civilization? At this moment, Teufel, in his disguise of Dr. Alexander Orlovsky, is preparing to leave Paris for Germany. Never was Superman in such grave danger as now. So don't miss tomorrow's exciting episode, fellows and girls. Tune in, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
And now, the adventures of Superman. A fragment of kryptonite which robs Superman of his strength when it is brought near him was stolen from the Metropolis Museum by the Scarlet Widow. The widow, in turn, was robbed of a quarter of it by Der Teufel, a brilliant but unscrupulous Nazi scientist. Disguised as Dr. Orlovsky, a foreign minister, Teufel, whose name in English means the devil, is speeding to Germany with the kryptonite, where he plans to create an atomic monster able to control Superman and perhaps conquer the world. Meanwhile, in his guise of Clark Kent, Superman and Police Inspector Henderson arrived at the scene of a fire in a secret basement laboratory, where they found the real Dr. Orlovsky murdered and a man named Krause dying from burns. Discovering traces of kryptonite in a test tube, Kent urged a police surgeon to try to revive Krause. And as we continue now, in the charred laboratory, the police surgeon works over Krause, while Kent and Inspector Henderson watch anxiously. Listen.
Well, how is he, Doc?
Very low, Inspector. It's just a matter of minutes now.
We've got to talk to him, Doctor. Can't you give him adrenaline or something?
I've given him chloramine, Kent. If anything will bring him around, that will. I'm not too hopeful, though.
He must come to. We've got to get him to tell us who was here.
Whoever it was murdered Dr. Orlovsky.
A lot more than murder took place here, Inspector. Something to do with the kryptonite.
Oh, forget that nonsense, Kent.
Nonsense? I tell you that unless that kryptonite is found, and soon, it may mean the end of Superman.
What's that?
Don't pay any attention to him, Doc. Somebody fed him a lot of hot air about Superman being in danger, and he fell for it. Now, Doc, you've got to bring Krause around.
Well, I'm doing all I can, Inspector, but...
Wait a minute. He just groaned.
Yes, I think he's coming to.
Good.
Teufel.
What did he say?
Teufel.
Teufel. Orlovsky.
You hear that, Kent? He knows about Dr. Orlovsky.
Yes, and apparently Teufel was here.
Now, what about Orlovsky, Krause? Who killed him?
Teufel.
Teufel killed him?
Control.
Wait, Inspector.
Superman.
His pulse is strengthening, Inspector. It's just possible to have a rational moment. I suggest that you decide on the most important question you want to ask him.
Ask him where the kryptonite is, Inspector.
Are you out of your mind, Kent? I want to know who killed Orlovsky.
But if you find out who...
Teufel. Where are you?
He's rational now. Quick, question him.
Krause, where is the kryptonite?
Shut up, Kent.
Teufel has it.
Where is Teufel?
I said shut up, Kent. Now, Krause. Krause, listen to me. Who killed Dr. Orlovsky?
Teufel.
I thought so. Where is he, Krause? Where did he go?
He went.
Where did he go?
All right, where? Where, Krause?
He went to Atom Man.
Atom Man.
I'm afraid he's sinking, Inspector.
Listen, Krause. Where? Where?
Atom Man. Destroy.
Krause. Listen, Krause.
It's no use, Inspector. He's dead.
Well, that's that, Kent. Now I'm in a fine spot. I've got to tell the Belgravian government and the newspapers that Teufel, who broke out of prison, somehow knifed Dr. Orlovsky and escaped again. Now, isn't that going to make me look good?
We've got to find Teufel, Inspector.
No kidding. Well, what do you think we've been trying to do ever since he broke out of the pen?
But now it's even more important that we find him. He's got the kryptonite.
No, that again.
And apparently he worked out some experiment in this laboratory with it. Something he told Krauss will enable Germany to control Superman and rule the world. Something to do with an atom man.
Have you gone nuts, Kent?
No.
First, you get all steamed up about that piece of meteor endangering Superman.
Well, it does.
And now you take a dying man's babbling seriously. Look, I used to think you were a good reporter, but Kent,
Inspector.
Well, what is it, Doc?
There's nothing more I can do here. The wagon's on the way, so I'll be running along.
Okay, Doc. And thanks a lot.
So long. Goodbye, Kent.
Goodbye, Doctor. Oh, you've got to listen to me, Inspector.
Look, I haven't got time to listen to fairy
But
tales.
it's not a... Wait a minute.
Uh-oh. Here comes a frock coat and silk hat. He must be from the Belgravian embassy.
Inspector Henderson.
Yes, I'm Henderson.
I am Count Brilovich. I received a telephone call.
Yes, I know. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you, Count.
The police officer said it had something to do with Dr. Orlovsky, our finance minister. But that I cannot understand because...
Just step over here, will you, please? Oh, by the way, this is Clark Kent, reporter for the Daily Planet. Count Brilovich, the Belgravian ambassador.
How do you do, Mr. Kent?
All right, here we are. Prepare yourself for a shock, Count. He's under this canvas.
Who is?
I want you to identify him. Look.
Good heavens. Dr. Orlovsky.
You were right, Kent.
But this cannot be, Inspector. It cannot be Dr. Orlovsky.
What do you mean? You just said it was.
Yes, it is. But how can he be here in Metropolis?
Come again, please.
What do you mean, Count Brilovich?
Why, 3 days ago, Dr. Orlovsky left Metropolis by clipper plane to return to Belgravia.
He did? What, sir?
Yes. His mission here was completed. He returned to our country to report to Parliament. I myself said farewell to him and saw him depart for the airport.
Looks like he didn't get to the airport. He was waylaid by Teufel for some reason and brought here. Now, why would he...
I think I know, Inspector.
Orlovsky, I cannot understand. How did he get here? Who did this to him?
Just a minute, Count. What did you start to say, Kent?
I said I think I know what happened. Dr. Orlovsky is about the same size as Teufel.
What's that got to do with it?
I think Teufel, who was probably working with Krauss here, found out about Dr. Orlovsky leaving the country. They trapped him here, killed him, then Teufel dressed in his clothes.
Hey, Orlovsky's clothes are missing. Go ahead, Kent.
Teufel made himself up to look enough like Orlovsky to pass muster with the customs inspectors, took Orlovsky's passport and the kryptonite, and got on the clipper plane as Dr. Orlovsky.
By George, that might be it, Kent.
I'm sure it is.
But who is Teufel? Why did he do this to poor Orlovsky?
Teufel is a Nazi scientist, one of the cleverest Hitler had. A year ago, he almost succeeded in solving the secret of harnessing atomic energy. Now, with the kryptonite, he... Great Scott! Krauss talked of an atom man. Oh, no, it can't be. It's too fantastic.
What are you
I do not
talking
understand.
about?
We've got to stop Teufel. Come on, Inspector.
Well, if you're right, Kent, and Teufel is traveling disguised as Dr. Orlovsky...
I'm sure he is.
All right, then, we'll get him. We'll contact the clipper ports on the European police. There's my car. Come on, Count Brilovich. We'll drop you at the embassy.
Thank you, Inspector.
Cassidy, don't let anybody in here.
Hurrying from the shabby basement laboratory, Clark Kent and Inspector Henderson leap into Henderson's car to take up the trail of Der Teufel. We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode. Now, back to the adventures of Superman. Inspector Henderson, via shortwave, is attempting to intercept Der Teufel, whom he and Kent believe escaped from Metropolis by clipper plane, disguised as Dr. Alexander Orlovsky, the finance minister of Belgravia. Now, at a powerful shortwave receiver in the radio room at headquarters, Henderson and Kent stand by anxiously as the International Police Channel becomes alive with confirming messages.
R5C 506, Lisbon, Portugal, to WMPD Metropolis Police.
It's Lisbon.
Quiet, will you?
Orlovsky arrived Tuesday 12th. Proceeded via Iberian transport plane to Madrid. I will repeat. Orlovsky arrived Tuesday 12th. Proceeded via Iberian transport plane to Madrid.
Paris, Sûreté, official 21 to WMPD Metropolis Police. Per your request, Orlovsky arrived Le Bourget Field Wednesday, 11:30 p.m., 13th. Departed Thursday, 2:40 a.m. via French Empire Airways. Destination, Berlin. Repeating message, per your request. Orlovsky arrived Le Bourget Field Wednesday, 11:30 p.m., 13th. Departed Thursday.
United States Army Occupational Police, Division 22, WMPD, Metropolis Police Department. Alexander Orlovsky arrived Berlin via French Empire Airways Thursday, the 14th, 11:50 a.m. Arranged reservation on Baltic Transport Line for Belgravia. Leaving Berlin 2:40 p.m., but did not appear again at airport. Full investigation underway. So far, no report. We'll keep you advised. United States Occupational Police signing off with WMPD, Metropolis Police Department.
Lisbon, Madrid, Paris, Berlin, and then no report. Alexander Orlovsky, believed to be Der Teufel, seems to have vanished into thin air. And this man, the devil, has in his possession the one thing in all the universe capable of rendering Superman harmless to the forces of evil. What does Teufel intend doing with it? Yes, and what is the Atom Man of which he speaks? From now on, the excitement is breathtaking as the dangerous trail leads across 4 countries and thousands of miles. Superman is battling for his very life, so join with him as he fights to the death. Don't miss a word of Monday's tense and startling episode. Tune in and follow The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow The Adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday. Same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications.